Brilliant, thanks.
How bad is the lag from me talking to the video? Test, test, test. Yeah. That is incredible. Yeah, try not to look at yourself, I think. I think that's like that double lag going on. Alright, just try not to look at my video. Yeah, that's the teapot going. Alright. Well. Perfect. Alright. Let's see. Oh, let me turn your audio on. Hello, Twitch chat. Alright. So, let's first get to the refactoring commands thing. Hopefully that... Is that background noise starting to go down?
It is, yeah. So I need to mute. Let me. All right. So I've muted the Twitch sound anyway, so that should help.
All right. Good. Very important.
So I think I'll want to let people know that we are sort of talking with a lag between the video and back.
Yeah, that'll be
so
good.
So there's going to be an awful lot of me suggesting that you type something and you having already started typing it, but I haven't seen it change on the screen yet. So that's just what it's going to be like.
Yeah. I don't know of a better way to do it, unfortunately.
No, this is fine. The worst thing we could do now is change the technology for something that you've got as a working thing.
Yeah.
And then end up with nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let us open up the right file.
So have you got you've obviously got the code that we worked on the branch on Sunday. Does it have the fix to the extra Visual Studio files added to the test? It doesn't matter if
it does. Yeah, it does.
Oh, cool. Okay, thanks.
At least I'm pretty sure. I think that's what the fix VCX proj in the git log is. Oh my god, stop that. Fix VCX proj build.
Ah, that was a different thing though. Was that adding to the library?
Oh, might have been. Alright, well, apparently it's not full, but those are also tests, so who cares about building tests?
Me a lot when we're refactoring code. But we'll be adding some tests today anyway, so.
Awesome.
This is so weird seeing me laugh about 5 seconds after. Never mind. When you start showing the screen, our videos will be small and in the corner, and I should try hard not to look at them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'm gonna also announce this on show and tell. All right. So probably I'll let some people trickle in over the next like 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll start, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I guess. Yes.
Well.
What, you mean like now?
Yeah.
Have there actually people joined yet?
There are a few.
Okay. So I'm Clare Macrae. I'm in Cambridge in England. I've been programming for a living since 1987, so well over 30 years now. The vast majority of that was in C++. And about this time last year, I left the company I've been working for quite a while to focus on learning and sharing what I've learnt in the area of testing legacy code and improving legacy code. So this seemed like quite a fun opportunity to see what we could do together with some code that Nicole tweeted and demoed recently. So it's a bit of an experiment to try this out.
Yeah.
Awesome. I chose a bad time to focus on conference speaking this year. I had loads of talks set up for the first half of this year. And that didn't work out so well, unfortunately.
But it's quite unfortunate.
Yeah. So it means a lot more focus on virtual things instead.
Right. All right. Well, let us begin then.
Okay.
Right. Going coding. Let's see if that worked. All right. Cool. Can you see that?
Yes. Yeah. It's yeah. If I squint, I can see the file names on the left-hand side, and
yeah, the file names aren't going to be super
the code's
easy to
great.
read.
I can see the code really clearly.
I really need to figure out how to change the font for this because currently it's just so small.
Oh, it's fine. It's good.
I think I need to download like a monkey patching tool. And actually modify the CSS underlying that they don't give you options to fix. Okay, so let's look at what we've done so far, because we actually have done quite a bit of stuff to this code to get it ready for refactoring. So originally, if you were here last week, you would remember that all of the commands that were in this file, or all of the commands for vcpkg used to live in this file right here. And now, unfortunately, that meant that making any changes to this file, because all of the commands .blah.cpp, so these commands.blah.cpp were for implementing specific commands. So if you wrote vcpkg build external, you would call into this commands.buildexternal.cpp file. But all of the interfaces were in commands.h. And unfortunately, if you're making any modifications to commands.h, you'll have to build all of the commands.star.cpp, and that just is no fun. So what we've done is we've made it so that this commands.h contains this getAvailableCommands function, or these 3 getAvailableCommands functions, and so only 2 or 3 source files actually need to hold it, which means that we can compile a lot easier. And so it was just a simple, kind of scriptable change where we pulled out all of the commands into their own commands.start.h. And so you'll see, like in CI clean, you have perform and exit, env, etc. And so all of these namespaces are their own header file now. All right, and that was all we did to get ready for this. And now we're going to turn to Claire for her expert opinion on what we should do next.
So I have done a little bit of looking at the code, and I did watch the original video. So from what I understand, the goal is type B and command type C. I'm getting a spinning. Okay, yeah. So if we go to one of those.
Go to command type A or what?
So where it says using command type C equals. Oh, it's actually probably lines 14, 15, 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking at those lines 14, 15, and 16, from what I remember from before, you want to change it so that instead of the code dealing with those function pointers, we're going to be introducing 3 different classes. Each of which has a pure virtual function, pure virtual method that matches that signature. Each of those signatures, right? Okay. So a big focus, but essentially we're going to be doing much the same kind of thing as you did in the first video, but we're going to be doing
Hello, Struct.
in a much smaller chunks of work, much smaller increments, and keeping the code working, compiling, linking, running all the way. So that means picking either command type A to replace, or B or C. So before we decide, in order to decide which is going to be the easiest to look at, which of the function implementations of the get available commands is smaller? So what's the smallest thing we can start off? Is it the functions to return type?
That would be get available commands type C.
Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to suggest that's the area that we start on first of all then. So can we have a go and look at what...
We only have 2 type C commands.
Okay, so we've got 2 commands there on lines 83 and 84, a command called version and a command called contact.
Yep.
So the first thing I'm going to be thinking of is understanding how we test our changes as we go.
Okay.
So there's multiple possibilities, one of which is at least one of those 2, the perform and exit method, is already covered by an automated test in the code. And given that the function names and exit, I'm guessing it may not be covered, because that's the kind of thing that... Okay, so that's okay. So can we then run, can we build the program and run it and see the output on the console of version or contact, or ideally both of them, and save the output in a file so that when we finish doing our work in a little while, we can rerun the command built against the new code and just verify that we haven't accidentally changed anything unexpected.
Yeah. Also, by the way, thank you so much for following, Struct. All right, so we've built the code. And so we're going to get version.
Okay, so I'm still seeing that it's building the code at 95%, 100%. So that's a kind of indication.
Yeah, you're going to be a little bit farther behind, unfortunately.
Yeah. So if you can say out loud what you're seeing, that would really help me out.
Right. So we got a good build, and I just ran the vcpkg version. So if we open a new file, let's call it output. And then the other, what was the other command? It was contact.
Contact.
So let's see what happens if we run vcpkg contact. I should really Okay, I need to turn off my notifications. There we go. Okay.
Fantastic.
And contact prints, send an email to vcpkg@microsoft.com with any feedback. We do not get many emails from that. Y'all should contact us. We do actually read all those emails.
Okay.
All right.
So
we've got it
the main thing that this is guarding against is that we don't accidentally introduce an infinite loop in the code that we end up writing.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's really good.
Okay.
So that's the question of have we got any tests answered? And then last time you created a base class called command, and then a basic command, I guess, is going to be the one that matches these two. So let's go ahead and do that again.
All right. So this commands.interface.h is the place where we put all of the common interface of commands. So we're going to put that here. Currently, the only common interface is dry run, which is just used across a few different functions. And now we're going to be adding these command base classes, or I would call them interfaces, because they're all public and all pure virtual. So we're going to put these commands base classes in here. So as Claire said, we're going to add this struct command, which is kind of our base class of everything. And currently it won't have any functions in it. So I guess we don't actually need it just yet. So we'll put basic command in first. And then we want the perform and exit of command type C. So let's copy and paste it.
So I like that you're copying and pasting so that there's no possibility of introducing typos along the way. So a lot of what we're going to be doing today is what's the safest way that we can do this. So that... Oh, I'll leave the original one in there, though.
Oh, okay. All right. And then we're going to make it virtual.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it const. And we're going to set it to 0, which doesn't actually set it to 0. It just means that this is a pure virtual function. And so basic command doesn't need its own implementation of perform and exit. And anything that inherits from basic command will require a perform and exit implementation, as opposed to just falling back on the basic command implementation.
So let's go ahead and tell it to make the destructor virtual on basic command.
So we have set the we want a virtual destructor so that we can destroy through this basic command class. And we've set it to default because we don't want it to do anything. We just need it to be in the vtable. And if anyone has any questions on how that works, just ask in chat and I'll go into that. All right, Claire.
Okay, great. So then if we go back, and so we've got our two commands that we want to implement are the version and the contact.
Yep.
So let's pick one of those two, the headers for the .h for one of those two. It doesn't matter which one.
All right. So we've opened commands.version.h.
Okay.
And then what are we putting in here?
And so the first few of these, I'm going to suggest that we just edit by hand. So if I remember rightly, you were going to create a class called version command.
Yeah.
And the interesting question is whether to put that... Okay, so if you're starting typing while we're talking, could you add it at the end? So after perform and exit?
Yes.
So after all of the existing code, for reasons that I'll explain or that we'll come to in due course.
Okay.
And I'm going to suggest that you do put it inside the version namespace. So it will be vcpkg commands version : version command, because that will make some of our later edits easier, I think.
Okay. So then we just do version command class with the struct keyword,
struct
so
is
that
good.
So that all the things are public, because we don't want anything private.
Yeah.
And it's going to inherit from basic command.
Yeah, and I'm going to suggest that you don't put in the pure virtual method yet, because I want to see it failing to build without the virtual method implemented.
Cool. So do you just want to build it now?
Yeah. So yes. So I think if we build it now, it probably will build, because nothing's trying to create an instance of version command yet. So there's no failure going to happen.
Okay.
So let's see it build.
Thank you, Sometimes. I hope I said that name correctly. Sorry if I didn't.
Sometime soon we're going to want to start committing something, but stick with this for a little bit.
So it has build finished with exit code 0, which means it was correctly finished.
So we're a bit limited in what kind of tests that we can write for this, but I want just a basic bit of kind of hand-holding, if you like, to know that we have got something that is creating an instance of this. So can we look at the test .cpp files that we've got and see if there's an obvious file that we can start adding to?
That was the wrong file. Accidentally opened commands.version.cpp. Oh, that's the header files. That's why. All right.
Yeah, so I was thinking in the tests. Are the tests in a separate folder?
Yeah, they are. So let's do commands.version.cpp. Or do we want to just make a commands.cpp, which will test all of the commands.i?
I think probably commands.cpp will do for now.
Okay.
Because there's not going to be much in it. So without reverse... Yeah, okay, sorry, I'm getting quite a delayed stream, so not for the first time, not for the last, will I be telling you to fix something, suggesting you fix something you've already fixed.
No problem. This is the unfortunate
so we're using
truth
catch as the header, which is great, as the test framework, which is really good.
Yeah. So we're going to include commands.h, include commands.version.h.
Yeah, that's
And then we're going to create a test case.
Yeah, so the kind of test case I was thinking was something like test commands are constructible, or test we can instantiate commands, or something like that.
Okay. And then what do we want to put in the test case?
So let's just create an instance of the version command. You just make it create a command called v. We're not going to do anything with it. We're just going to check that we can actually construct it.
So vcpkg commands. Let me spell that correctly. Version. Version command v. Call that version. All right, and it's giving us an error. Object of abstract class type vcpkg commands version command is not allowed.
Okay,
Pure
that's it.
That's
our test.
All right.
So it's quite a blunt test, but
right.
Yeah. Okay. So now, in an ideal world, what we would do is we go to commands.version.h.
All right.
And we would right-click on the name of the struct. And we would tell the development environment to implement for us any pure virtual methods.
Got it. But unfortunately, we can't do that, apparently, because I'm using VS Code. So do we want to switch to Visual Studio?
Yeah, I think so. Let's do that. Let's give it a couple of minutes and see how we get on with that.
So for what it's worth to everyone, I am not especially comfortable with Visual Studio. I mostly use VS Code, and so Claire is kind of teaching me how to use these kind of what's it called?
Refactoring tools.
Refactoring tools. Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. So let's open vcpkg in Visual Studio. Let's close it in Visual Studio Code just so we don't have anything like that. All right. And then
It's in tool source,
yeah. So include.
And I guess we probably need to add the new test file to the VCX proj here, do we? The file that the commands.cpp that we just created.
I'm not actually using the VC package VCX project. I'm using the CMake. I'm using Visual Studio's CMake
oh, okay.
integration.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm trying it out. I've never used it before, really.
Okay.
So let's open commands.version.h. And hopefully this works. No promises. All right.
I think my experience, every C++ IDE that offers refactoring tools, they all work most of the time in most situations, and you kind of get to know which ones are working. So if you have a look under, if nothing stands out, then quick actions, implement all. Cool.
Yeah, it worked. Awesome. So it worked. So we've got
Fantastic.
a performant exit.
Okay, so it's done the. Do you like the form? We want to make sure that it hasn't futzed with the formatting as well.
Oh, of course. Why would it do that? It apparently decided to create commands.version.cpp in include/vcpkg.
That's unfortunate. I was hoping that because we'd now got matching header and CPP files, that it would spot the matching pair. That's a shame. So where is that? Yeah. Well, we might be able to live with that because it might. So the safety that we get by. So yes, right at the end, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we just delete this file.
Yeah. Yeah. So the idea behind using the IDE tool is that once you know it's working well enough that you trust it, it saves you time by not having to check, did I make a typo or anything like that.
And then what I did a very smart thing by just deleting the file that I wasn't intending to delete. And so we're going to go to the trash and try and undo that. Oh my gosh.
You've got it in version control. Can you just go to version control and undo the delete?
That would make way more sense. I don't know why I didn't do that the first time. I'm clearly sometimes a little bit slow. We've
gone. Normally, I would be expecting to commit every minute or two or something like that.
Right.
So, in which case, that's our undo system as well. We've kind of been leaving it a bit long before we commit.
What is it? Commands.version.cpp.
Ah, cool.
Beautiful. And then we need to add the perform and exit back. And this file we would like to delete. Because for some reason Visual Studio has chosen to put it in there somehow. All right, so we've got this virtual void perform and exit.
So it's on your clipboard history, I presume.
Yeah. So then we can paste it. delete some of these. Okay. So we have it in the C++ file. We have it in the header. So what is next?
Okay. So we can... So I'm not going to take up time and show that the build passes now, but is are warnings treated as errors? So if we try to build that .version.cpp... Sorry, did you say they are?
They are, yeah.
Excellent. So that is our check. So now, if we go to that new file, let's call the old file. So the simplest possible thing we can do is to leave the free function, the perform and exit, in place.
Okay.
And just call
version, perform and exit.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably need to quote the namespace.
Yes, we do.
That's...
Oh. So let's go here. We forgot the VC package in front in the tests. So let's do that again. Rebuild.
I thought you saw I couldn't instantiate.
That is weird. I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Let's keep moving forwards. This is fine.
Yeah. All right. So we have the perform and exit. And we're waiting for it to build because it needs to rebuild everything because we're doing a new build directory. Hi, Kategi.
Okay. So we're definitely really close to our next commit. So whilst this is building, let me say that there's a fantastic quote on refactoring code from Kemp Beck, and he says for each change that you want to make in the code that's hard, first of all change it to make the change easy, and then make the easy change. And so the bulk of what we're going to be doing today is going to be making it easy to add these command objects. So easy to make them safely, easy so that the small commit steps that we make, that if you have a code review process, that someone can safely read through lots of tiny commits that they can easily reason through and easily spot any errors in.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Okay, that's brilliant. So could you just run the test? I'm sure it would be fine, but...
Yeah. So we go /build /debug. Oh. What is the actual build directory called? /msbuild.
Oh, there's a run button at the... Oh, no, maybe there isn't a run button at the top.
Oh, that actually might work.
So it's got x64 debug default. In the toolbar at the top, there's a little green triangle that currently points to current document. Does it list any targets?
It does.
So let's see what happens.
So I actually did run VC package test.
Cool.
And it's running all of the tests right now.
Brilliant. Okay. So once this is done, the one little extra test to do is to rebuild, build and run vcpkg.exe.
Okay. And all test passed.
And just check we got the same output as before.
Cool. So it's msbuild.x64.debug, vcpackage. Oh. Debug. What is this? I always forget how to call these things. Oh.
Have we built it yet?
Package.exe. Yeah, I just built it.
I'm not sure that we've built it in this.
Oh, might be out? Yep, it's out.
Ah.
my gosh. And of course, VS is weird and calls the build directory x64 space open paren default close paren, but it should still work. All right.
So what's
so we do get output.
Okay, so what does the output? So if you give it the version option, do we get the same output as before?
We do.
Yes. Cool.
Awesome.
And can we just get the modification date on that exit?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you do it or something like that?
Last write time 2020-07-28 at 9:26. So about 4 minutes ago.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. All right.
Brilliant. Okay, good. So let's review all of those changes then. That's so basic. That's quite a chunk of changes, but we've got our first working command class. So we're halfway to replacing that first using command type C or whatever it was.
Awesome.
So a thing I'm particularly looking for in the diffs is to make sure there aren't any accidental white space changes.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I want to keep the changes clean.
Yeah. So let's look at changes. So we have a change in commands.interface.h.
Is there an
reasonable.
IDE that we can look at? Feel free to switch back to Visual Studio Code if that's easy.
No, this works. So we added the basic command thing, and we didn't change any white space, just added the struct basic command to commands.interface.h.
Brilliant. And is this diff tool configured to show you differences in white space?
It is, yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant.
So we have this version command, and then if we go down to vcpkg, we get the version command, and that's it. And then we get commands.cpp, which is a new file.
Fantastic.
This looks good.
And we had the test as well.
Yes.
Test.
All right. So we staged those changes, and now we're going to commit them.
Yeah.
So add basic command to and version command. Cool.
Hey.
Awesome.
So let's do the same for contact command.
Cool. All right. Then we'll go to source / oh no, we want to go to include commands.contact.h, and we'll add a struct contact command, which inherits from basic command.
That sounds perfect.
Then do you want to add, oh, and then you want to add the test to instantiate.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to commands.cpp. Okay. And we create vcpkg commands contact command. And then we need to include commands.contact.
Control D will probably duplicate the line before. Oh, okay. Actually, yes, it's quite, it's fair amounts changed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. An object of abstract class is not allowed to be created. All right. So if we go back to commands.contact.h, then do you want us to do the thing?
Yep. So you get the IDE to generate the missing methods.
Awesome. IntelliSense operation in progress. Neat. I don't know what that means, but it's taking a while.
Yeah. Wow.
This is incredible.
Not exactly a very large code base, really.
Yeah. What the hell? Why is why is Visual Studio? Apparently, it just doesn't like that.
Okay, that message that you've got there, when I tried getting this working in a Visual Studio on a Windows VM on my Mac, I got that same error message and I never got to the bottom of it.
That's so weird.
I'd love to see that, unless anyone watching knows how to get rid of that. I'd love to see that logged with the Visual Studio team, because this is pretty basic refactoring functionality.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so I don't have a solution for that, and I think at this point we just go back to Visual Studio Code.
All right,
let's do the implementation via copy and paste, and when we come onto the other command types, there are going to be so many of them, we'll probably end up scripting the generation of the new code anyway.
That works for me. All right, so we go to command dot. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go.
So, yeah, so you could grab the declaration from the commands.version.h if you haven't done that already.
Cool. All right, and then we can just go directly there. Commands.contact.h. It's telling me it's pure virtual, so we'll add that. And then in commands.contact.cpp, see if we can copy that. Go to commands.contact.cpp.
One of the things I like about getting the IDE to do the refactoring, it just put the override in automatically.
Yeah, that's really nice.
You don't have to remember to do things like that. It's really nice.
Although I do think that that's an error. vcpkg. All right, and then it's not an override in this.
Can we grab the line from the version.cpp?
We could, yeah. Okay. But we've already done it.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. It's cool.
So then, do you want to contact perform an exit?
Yep.
Cool. Args office. Dope. Let's try and build it. Wait for it to build, because linking apparently takes a while. All right, and it's done. So we've got it linking and building correctly.
Okay.
So do we want to commit it now?
Yes. So I'm going to say that I'm not at this point worried about rerunning the VC package and testing the output of this command, because what we did was effectively copying and pasting the code from elsewhere. So there's every reason to trust that it will work as well.
Awesome. All right. So
okay, that's great.
Add contact command, and we commit it. All right. So what next?
So we are really close to having your new command implemented.
Right.
I'll wait. Now let me know when you finish committing it.
I have finished committing it.
Okay, cool. So now let's hook those two new classes up. So if we go back to commands.h.
I just had the fun.
Cool.
My default in my editor is tabs, not spaces, and it makes. I should.
Can we change that?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now actually, because I can do that. I don't know why I didn't just do that before. Editor tab size is 4. Don't use tab stops. Beautiful. I don't know why I didn't do that before. It's really easy.
The joy of pairing, just having a second person who's not focusing on typing and can say really easy things like that.
Yeah. All right. So we've got it committed. Now what?
Okay, so let's go back to commands.h.
All right. We're in commands.h.
Okay, and I need to wait for it to pop up. So if you can go back to the line that said that declared the function pointer. So
Line 16.
command type C. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Line 16. So let's talk about what we want to replace that with. So I think that I think we're looking at leaving command type C in place for now and changing its definition. So
okay.
It seems to me, from looking at the original code, actually maybe let's look at the implementation of get available commands type C as well.
Okay.
Because I think we may not have looked at that in this session.
Yeah. So we have a static std vector of package name and functions commands type C called T,
okay.
which just gets returned, and this just allows us to have like a single place where this is held, and it returns version and contact.
Okay.
And version for
now,
exit, command contact for exit.
Sorry. Yeah. So now we're going to be looking at that container will contain an instance of version command and an instance of contact command.
Okay.
And the only way I can think to do that is to make it a shared pointer, because we're going to be returning copies of the things, I assume.
Well, my thought was actually to create statics for these. So static version command version, right? And then static contact command contact, and then we don't need to do pointer, or we don't need to do reference counting, because we have these as statics in the binary.
Okay, so but how do you return? So we need to be returning a container.
Yeah.
So what would you store? Would you store a vanilla pointer in the?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this makes me want to add one more test. So let's actually do that before we change this implementation.
Okay.
So the test that I want to add is to add a call to get available commands type C, and test that when we pass it, when we ask for the command for a version, it gives us a non-null. So let's have a second test.
Okay, we're adding a second test.
Yeah.
So we're going to create the commands list.
Yeah, that works.
Available. Oh, why is that? Oh, right. Gotta actually. We're gonna do a using namespace here, which is fine because it's test code.
Yeah.
My teapot is too close to my keyboard and it's making it difficult to type. So I'm moving my teapot. All right, so we've gotten the available commands type C.
Okay, so let's not mix changes though. I kind of would want one change at a time.
Okay, and we'll delete this change.
I was more thinking on lines 11, reversing lines 11 and 12, but it's okay. Don't worry, leave it as it is.
Oh, that was already reversed. I did not make any changes up here. I don't think.
Okay, so there's a suggestion. It would be helpful to have the English of this test. Okay, so on line 16, so the English of this test is going to be that we can get a get a version command.
Okay.
So when we say English, it means suggest putting in write some comments in the code saying what the tests are going to do, and then replace the comments by code.
Okay. I've never done this before.
Does that make any kind of sense?
Yeah. So like the first comment would be, check if version is a command. Hi, Ninth Prime. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
And then there'll be a second one, which is check if contact is a command.
Okay. So we would do find command.
So if we just put the comments in, yeah. So check if contact. And then a third one, which is something which is neither of those. So my British mind says check if wibble is not a command or something like that. But something other than.
And then I'm also going to check that the size is 2.
Okay, yep, that's a good idea.
So that if somebody adds things in the future to this list, then they will add the test to it as well.
Yeah.
So I think we should check that the size is 2 first.
Yep,
so
that's a good idea.
So check commands list dot size equals 2.
Yeah.
And then do we delete the English after we've written the actual check?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so we have this function called find command, which is somewhere around here. It's in commands.h. So find. Okay. So, and the find returns a null pointer if the command isn't found. So we can check commands find commands list, and the name would be version. Although I think if I remember correctly, it goes first. Yeah, the name goes first for some reason.
Might have been called find rather than find command. Though find command would make sense.
It is called find. Not equal null putter. Alright, what do you not like about that?
So get available commands type returns a span and find takes a vector.
Got it.
And I don't, other than making a vector which was a copy of the span, I couldn't find a nicer way of doing that.
Yeah, I think that this is an older function that we don't call anymore, but I'd like to start calling it again because there's no reason not to, really. Okay, so that works.
Oh, okay.
Let's build and see if the test actually runs.
Mm-hmm.
And it works.
So did we have the 3? Oh, okay. So, yeah, so we've got version and we've got the 2 checked.
Yeah.
Did that pass?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It did build. Now let's see if it actually passes. vcpkg. No, it's .build. Debug. vcpkg. Oh, we want vcpkg test. And the thing we want to test is commands.
Is there any way that we can run the executable from within the IDE?
Yes, but not without running all of the tests.
Oh, okay.
We would have to be editing JSON, and I don't have enough knowledge on how to do that yet. So I prefer doing it in the terminal because I'm a terminal baby. I grew up on Unix.
So before we carry on, can we edit the code and make the test fail and see in the console that it fails? Because I sort of never trust a test until you've seen it fail. So like maybe test that the size is 3 or something like that. Just to really make sure that we are running those tests.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, that's a lovely idea. Yeah, brilliant.
All right, so we're building now. Got it built. Oh, what?
Did it fail?
Oh, okay, cool. Assertions 2 failed. So commands list outside equals 3 failed, and this not equal null pointer failed.
Fantastic. Cool. Okay, awesome. So now, so long as we remember to do the build before we rerun the test, we're golden.
Yeah. So now we're gonna find. Okay, one sec. I'm gonna modify this just a little bit to take a string view because we do not need it to be not a string view. So commands find, and then hi Debbie. Claire is teaching me how to refactor in a nice way because I'm still, kind of a young programmer, and these kind of things I haven't learned how to do yet, and so I'm being taught by the wonderful, amazing Clare Macrae.
Too kind.
Okay, so let's check if contact is in commands list.
So Debbie, what we're doing is working out how to make changes in small safe steps, basically, so that we don't ever get bogged down in making a change and then spending time debugging it, because we can be confident of the changes we've made along the way. So it's sort of constructive laziness, really. That's how I like to think of it.
So we've added checking if contacts a command. Oh, we forgot to change back that this commands list outside was 2. But apparently contact is a command. And then we'll check if a non-command is not a command.
Yeah. So pick a word, any word.
I generally am a big fan of doing Atla references. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because I've been watching
right over my head.
It is a wonderful show. A wonderful Nick show.
Awesome. Do we want that to be equal null pointer?
We do want it to be equal null pointer. Thank you. That will fail. Okay. So, all right, all tests pass.
Okay, so let's get the test changes committed first of all, because we changed the function that you're calling, and so do we need to build everything to make sure that nothing else is calling the function whose signature that you changed?
Yeah, I did build everything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Git commit -m.
Oh, sorry, can we review all the differences first of all?
Oh, that's so neat. What the heck is going on? That's so cool. Okay, apparently the forward and back buttons work on like the back browser forward and back buttons that go on keyboards and mice. They work on VS Code. You'll go to. I think that's so neat. Totally unhelpful, but cool. All right, so this is. So we're looking at the stage changes. So the first thing is that we changed constant string end to string view. And we changed constant vector to span of const package name and function t. And everything else is the same. And then commands.cpp we added using namespace vcpackage and removed vcpackage colon, and then we added this new text case. So is there anything
Brilliant.
that you see that we should
No,
change?
that's great. Totally committable. Thank you very much.
Cool. So, test get available commands type C. All right. Awesome. Now, what next?
Oh, I guess the next thing is to change get available commands type C so that it uses the new classes. So pretty much everything that we've done so far has been adding new code and not changing existing code. So most of the time, adding new code in C++ is a totally safe thing to do. So we didn't have to worry about interactions with existing code. So this is the thing about make the change easy and then make the easy change. So I think that it's going to be relatively easy now to update that function.
Okay. Do you want to change the using command type C to be the new type of thing?
Yes, because that will allow us to localize the changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be a const basic command star.
Okay.
And then if we go to commands.cpp, now we just need to return the new thing. So we're going to create a static const basic, not basic command, version command, version. Oh, do need the namespace. And then a contact command. Call it contact. And then this package name and function will become the same thing, but instead of having the address of version perform and exit and contact perform and exit, we have the address of these static variables. And these addresses will automatically get converted to a basic command star because of the because they're subclasses, because they inherit from this. Now if we try and build, we should get a compile error.
Yeah. And is that in the place that's using commands type C?
Exactly. Okay, and we do.
Oh, you know, when I had you rerun the VC package with the two contact and version.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't have changed the code anyway because we weren't calling the new objects yet. So it's after we've made this change that we should rerun. Yeah. So I was a bit premature there.
So then, at this place where we used to just call the function pointer, now we're going to call perform and exit on this object.
Yeah.
So let's try building again. It's taking forever to link, because of course it is. All right. It succeeded. So let's run the tests again. They did pass. And let's run version. And if we look at the output, it looks exactly the same. Awesome. And then if we look at the contact, it should also look exactly the same, hopefully. And it does. Awesome. Brilliant. So it does work.
Okay, so that took us about 55 minutes. And some of that was switching backwards and forwards and sort of Visual Studio and so on.
Yeah.
And we learned a bunch of stuff along the way. So I think the rest of it is, well, we could talk about what next, but the rest of it is essentially handle turning for all of the other classes.
Right.
And to do it So, I mean, is it worth reviewing the changes that we've made
Yeah, I
so
think so.
far? Because I think...
So let's commit this change first.
Yeah, good point, thanks.
So let's look at the changes. Yeah, we changed command type C, and that's it. We changed this to do perform and exit. Could you answer Debbie's question? I don't know.
Yes, yeah. So approval test is comparing old and new output to check it's the same thing. That's right. So what we did by hand, by saving by running those two commands before we made any changes and saving the output manually in a text file, and then afterwards, when we'd finished our work, rerunning those same two manual commands and checking the output, that's effectively manual approval test. And then approval test is a structured, really easy to use approach to automating that and giving a nice convenience. So if you get differences, a diff tool pops up. And Llewellyn Falco, who's joining us in the chat, he created and has popularized approval tests. And approval test is available in a dozen or more different languages, and it's available in C++ as well. And at this point, if I could be permitted to share a link, if anyone's interested in approval tests, and finding out more, just loading it. So Llewellyn and I have started running training for C++ developers in how to test legacy C++ code, but specifically how to make it easy to test legacy C++ code using approval tests. And that's in September, 4 sessions of just a couple of hours long. So feel free to contact me and send us questions, ask us about it. But also on the Hash Include Discord, there's a testing channel, and that's one of the channels I follow. So I'm really, really happy if people have got questions about how to test code that's hard to test. Then lots of us there answer questions about testing. So basically, I've always been interested in testing code. I like the idea of you write some code and then you have automated tests, so you know that if someone else picks it up later or you pick it up later, you can modify it safely. That reduces the amount of time spent debugging massively. But over the last year or so, helping people test legacy code more effectively has really become my main focus. A lot of it through working on open source projects. So thank you very much for that question. And yeah, hopefully that helps.
Awesome. And so we've got the thing up on screen right now. It is an online event, so anyone can attend. And it's from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Yeah, or 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. UK time.
Yeah, so if you're in the US or Europe, it should be totally reasonable to get to. And it's 4 2-hour sessions on Tuesday for Tuesday once a week for about a month. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, right. Thank you very much. So where were we?
Going back to this. Okay, so the changes that we've made looks like, so we've added this version and contact object to get available commands type C, and returning a pointer to these objects instead of version perform and exit, contact perform and exit. Then we also have command function perform and exit, which is fine. And we have command type C getting turned into a const basic command star from this function pointer. Okay, there we go. You're muted for a sec.
Oh, okay. So I kind of skipped through, Nicole, I skipped through your video a couple of videos ago where you did this. And when you did it, you were making a lot more changes to the existing code.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of a summary of this is by focusing on the change we needed to make and what was the simplest, the minimal changes that we could make to get there. We have finished the first of the set of 3 functions. The other ones might take us longer because there's more classes, but we know what to do now, and we'll be able to script the generating of the function declaration, the method declaration, and the implementation.
Yeah.
And actually, for the new test that we added, the first block of new tests we added was test we can create an instance. And I'd probably delete that code now because in commands.cpp we are now creating an instance.
Got it.
And so that no longer has any value. The second lot of tests we added, they probably last longer. And so then you could, we've kind of at a fork now, and you could go back to the headers of the 2 classes that we've created, and does it matter that we've got the class calling an existing function? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's good enough. I don't know what the kind of the definition of done for your task, your story. So we could say we've implemented the commands, we're not using function pointers in that one area. Maybe job done, and we just carry on and implement the rest of the classes.
Yeah, I think that it's totally reasonable to not change anything else just yet. And then if we want to, at the end, pull the perform and exits into the class, we can do that at that point.
Yeah, so if you wanted to pull so the reason I had you put the new class at the end after the perform and exit is that then the inlining becomes really simple. We can delete. It becomes really easy to combine the 2. Or if you had an IDE that did inlining really, really well, then you just right-click on the old perform and exit functions and say inline, and then the IDE would move effectively delete the old perform and exit from the header file, and in the CPP, the command.blah.cpp, it would pull the implementation unchanged into the method in the new class. So there becomes a rote operation to go right-click inline, and the IDE checks to make sure if they're called anywhere else, and if not, it just collapses that code down. That's another thing that I really like about using the IDEs for refactoring is you don't have to check first of all, and is this called anywhere else? It will just take care of doing that for you. So it can save so much time and time in code review and things like that. But that's awesome. Probably not an interesting thing to spend time doing on the video right now.
Probably not. All right.
Okay.
So, do you want to change over? Well, let's go back and let's see what the other commands, get available commands look like. So it looks like get available commands type A is the next big one. So do we want to change that?
I think either. I don't know. I mean, you could say what's the smallest one and do that, because we'll get more efficient as we go.
Okay. Let's do get available commands type A then.
Yeah. Actually, I think it would help me. Can I just have a 1-minute break? Just pause for a minute. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. We're gonna do a water break.
Okay. Cheers.
I don't know how to do break music. This is not something I'm good at. Struct. So let's see if I can find a Spotify, I guess. Unless anyone else has like an idea of how to do this. Yeah, I don't. Here, you know what? We're gonna do stream music the old-fashioned way. Now I need to write lyrics, apparently. Alright, awesome. And if anyone has any ideas on how to get music for a stream, I would really appreciate it, because I have no idea. Alright, sounds good. Next time we'll do a cool guitar song about refactoring. Oh, God. Well, the whole thing is yeah, I need to find like a what's it called? Open source music, I guess, like music I don't have to license because I don't want to pay for it because I don't make any money on this. Yeah, totally. I will make sure to do that for next stream. Sorry, y'all. Alternatively, I could just play music. I think that's fun. All right. You have a good water break, Claire?
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I missed the music though.
Yeah.
I'll watch it later.
Okay. it was just, 5 chords. Wasn't that special. 4 chords. G, E, A minor. Yeah, 4 chords. All right. So let's get back to work.
I think we've got about 45 minutes left on this stream, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be really cool if we got all of the other classes finished in that time? But let's at least see if we can either get type A or type B done in that time.
All right. So let's go to commands.interface.h. Oh, and my cousin, who's also watching this stream, has pointed out that I've started getting an English accent. Despite having lived in America my entire life.
Yeah. I asked the same question when we paired together on Sunday.
Yeah. For what it's worth, for everybody, I generally have a very good I have a good ear for accents, and my brain likes to kind of move into the accent that I'm listening to. So I still, for example, for my time in New York, I still say caught and caught differently, which you might not be able to hear that on stream, but I can hear the difference. Or like I say latte. Yeah, Shepherd's Oasis. It's Claire. Yeah. She's teaching me how to refactor because she knows way more than I do about this kind of stuff. All right. I should probably just copy this. I don't know why I'm not copying this.
We would love it if you copied it, but by the time you've got, delayed reaction on the stream. Yeah, the other thing you could do is copy it from one of the implementation functions.
This is true. Yeah, totally. I also, when I used to work in coffee, I used to work at Starbucks in Issaquah, which is a town near Seattle, where I'm from, and they always made fun of me for saying latte as opposed to latte, which I can't even say latte anymore without feeling weird. But I got made fun of anyways, and it broke my heart. So then, what's next? So we've added this virtual triplet command. We should add the destructor.
Yeah. Do you want to add the base class and just put the virtual destructor in there?
Yeah.
I don't have a preference between 3 independent classes or... Yeah.
Well, I was thinking we would do that change later.
Sure.
Right. We could do it now, but I think later is
Yeah, I
easier.
suppose that change doesn't move us towards getting triplet command done.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
All right, so let's go to commands. That's the wrong commands.cpp. I'm going to move these tabs around a little bit. Okay. So I guess we'll do it for install first. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right.
So as we do the first one, because there's so much handle turning here, I'm really interested in avoiding doing them all by hand.
Okay.
So maybe if we do the first one by hand and then think how we can script or automate it, either in the IDE as a macro or a code snippet or something like that.
Yeah. So this install command is a triplet command. And oh, of course. Cool. And this is a fun truth of this code, which is that some commands live in commands.blah.cpp, and some commands are old enough that they don't. The fun of working with legacy code, or somewhat legacy code anyways. Semi-legacy code. Oh, damn it.
Where legacy code has value.
It does. And we're going to ban this person. All right, so let's see. We have install.cpp. Oh, what am I doing? I got distracted by the person who I needed to ban. So we want to copy perform an exit, paste it here.
Yeah.
And then do an override. Cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. So then we will go to... oh. Well, I definitely put that in the wrong file. Let me put this in install.h. So...
Is there a shortcut in Visual Studio Code to go from... Oh, yeah, brilliant. I was going to say to jump from the header to the CPP, but there is. You found it.
Yeah. And then we will implement this in the header, or in the CPP file.
Yep.
So perform an exit is, ooh, random, completely unrelated. I just got my CPU. I'm building a computer, and I got my GPU yesterday, and I got my CPU today, and I'm getting my motherboard on Friday. but I'm getting my case next week, so I have to wait a while. Shepherd's Oasis, I got a... we'll be able to run Crisis 2. I got a 1660 Super. Absolutely, I am a nerd struct. Actually, no, I just... I used my cousin Matt to tell me what to buy. And then some kind of Ryzen 7 3900X. Something like, I don't know. Matt Zukes can tell you what I bought because he built my computer. He chose the parts for me because I don't know anything about this stuff. Sorry, Claire. All right, what else is there to do? So we want to call install, perform an exit, args, paths, default. All right, is there anything else?
That's it for now.
Okay, let's build it.
Yep.
See if it works. And we need to build quite a few things.
Yeah. So when we created, so at the moment, commands.h includes commands.interface.h.
Yeah.
So on the rare times when we change commands.interface.h, a bunch more stuff builds. But then after that was our first one of those, so the rest will be a lot quicker now.
Right, exactly. So we've got this install, perform, and exit done.
Mm-hmm.
What next do we do?
So I think that's probably
testing?
a committable step.
Okay.
And it will be useful to have that in history.
Right. I don't know why I'm using the command line for this. So let's add these changes. Let's look at the changes. We added triplet command. We added install command to the header file with a virtual perform and exit override. And then we added perform and exit in the head or in the source file.
Yeah.
That should be it. So
brilliant.
Let's build, or let's commit. Add triplet command. Command. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I should be taking notes on that.
It's a nice setup. I like smaller computers. I don't like big computers. I'm currently streaming on my work computer, which I just took from the office because it's the only computer I really have. And it's very tiny, and that's something I love about it. It's like an HP enterprise thing. So that's kind of what I went for with the new computer. So we've got install, perform, and exit. That's a committable change. It's builds. What next do we do?
So that change that we've just made. Oh, if we could go back to commands.cpp and look at what comes after install.
Yeah. Set installed.
Okay, so it's basically how can we quickly how can we safely and then ideally quickly generate the corresponding code for each of those remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or so classes. So we could, for example, take out the words set installed, CI, remove, upgrade, build command is a bit of an outlier with the 2 namespaces, but end, build external, and just write something that generates the code to go in the .h and the code to go in the .cpp into a single file, and then just cut and paste it and navigate around. Anything like that to avoid us having to manually generate all of that code and check it. And I know that you're pretty proficient in PowerShell, so is that something that you can knocked together. If it were me, I'd do it in Python, but the language that it's implemented in really doesn't matter.
Right. I think the easiest way to do this is to make a function that takes a namespace. So let's call it function generate code.
Okay.
So we need to take a param, which is a string, call it namespace. And then we will write host. So this will go in the header file. And then if we look in install.h, we can look at what the actual thing is called.
Mm-hmm.
Not what I wanted. Let's copy it correctly this time. There we go. One, two, three, four. Okay. And this needs to be in curly braces because otherwise we'll get the thing. Okay. That's correct. And that's all we need to put in the header. And then we put, okay.
Wow, that's really nice.
And this will be, oh, no, we want to do, let's copy it from here because it'll be easier.
Mm-hmm.
Paste. It's not actually Windows, it's Vim Vecro. So Vim has multiple buffers for copy and pasting. And so so like the default buffer, which I copied into the first time, is doesn't leave Vim. So I have to actually copy it into the right buffer. It makes it easier in some cases, but in some cases it's a pain in the butt. All right. I think that should be it, right?
Good.
All right.
For bonus points, you could get it to write out the commit message to copy and paste in if you were going to commit them one class at a time.
Ooh, good idea. Yeah, it's sometimes a pain in the butt, but if you're able to use it correctly, then it can add a lot of nice things. Okay, so generate code. Let's try it. Yeah, you're right, Vecro. You're right. Set installed. Okay.
What if generated the code for the? Oh no, I was gonna test it by getting it to write the code that we just generated, but that's the waste of. Doing it with a new class is good.
Cool. Okay, so it goes after perform and exit. Oh, yeah. That's the wrong file. We want the H file.
Yeah.
There we go. And then in the CPP file, we add this. All right. And then, oh, we should try building first.
Yeah.
It built. All right.
To make sure we can instantiate it, how about if you go to commands.cpp and just add the new static instance of that class as we go?
Okay. See you, Debbie.
Sorry, I meant in the that's perfect.
Yeah.
Ah, good spot.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sure that we can.
And it works.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
So I didn't time it, but that's probably about 2 minutes, a minute or two to copy and paste that code in, if that. So we'll storm through the rest of them, I think.
Yeah. All right. So let's go down to CI. Okay, CI.h. This is actually really nice. I like how easy this is. Where is perform and exit? And then we go to commands.cpp. No worries, Shepherd's Oasis. Oh, it modified, set installed. Okay.
Do you need to give it a different variable name?
Yeah, I do. All right. And then let's actually modify this function to add this, because it'll make it easier.
Yeah.
Commands.cpp static const namespace command. Now let's figure out what the lowercase function is. String.toLower. Oh.
That makes sense.
That's really easy. Okay. Let's see if that works. Hey, it does.
Wow, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That. I love PowerShell, I have to say. It is so good. All right, so we generated code for CI, set installed. The next one is remove. So let's add the things. Oh, we've got to add the changes first. Okay. Yeah, it really does. Slurps.
There may come a point in the interest of time where I would stop committing them all as individual commits and just say add remaining commands or something like that.
Okay.
But it's totally up to you.
I can do that. That's pretty easy. Given that these are such simple changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the only thing that can go wrong is to paste it into the wrong file, really.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Oh, it didn't like that. Ah, this one doesn't include the interface. Yeah, I wouldn't have either. This is why pairing, Vector, this is why pairing is so nice, is because I don't actually know a lot of this stuff. It's like, or I don't think of this stuff, and having Claire, someone who's like absolutely an expert in this kind of thing, is really nice. Let's see.
I should at this point admit that there's something really luxurious about being the half of the pair that is not typing, because all the time that you're typing stuff, I get to think about what to do next, and then yeah, it might seem a surprise or something like that. So it's nice for me to be this way round on pairing as well. So
absolutely. Want that one. It's definitely a thing that, like, for stuff like this, a lot of it is stuff that I didn't know that I didn't know, right? Like, I thought that my way of doing it was, like, just fine. And it's really nice to be able to, like, learn a better way of doing this, you know? I didn't copy the thing. Ba-doop.
Turns out there's a lot of videos online for helping work with legacy code and refactoring and things like that. I had thought that we would probably spend more time looking at refactoring options in the IDE, but it's really, all we needed was really implement missing virtual functions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the rest of it is kind of handle turning, really.
Yeah. Build.c.h. Now this is a lot of code. Honestly, I would say working with legacy code seems like I honestly thought the same thing. And then I 2 summers ago, I worked on the Visual C++ backend, which has been around longer than I've been alive. And working on legacy code is actually so much fun, especially when it's like a living code base. Like, I don't know about code bases that really aren't alive anymore, like that they're just mostly in maintenance mode. I don't think that would be very enjoyable, but working on a code base that has been worked on and loved and used for so many years is just really, really fun, honestly. Okay, why are you failing? Does it not?
The namespace was weird. Was it build commands triplet?
Oh, that's why.
That was the one that was confusing, I think.
Right. But yeah, it's pretty fun to see stood variant used alongside a comment from the month after I was born, where that was talking about like a workaround for a bug that was fixed in 2000. Like, that's incredible. That's so neat.
Okay, so I've kind of lost track of where you are, but have you built the whole thing recently?
I have.
Brilliant, okay.
I'm building it after every command change.
Fantastic. If next time we do this, we could probably add commands to before the triplet command thing. Oh no, is it that it's only needed for the odd ones that are not already in the commands namespace?
Yeah,
That's why. Yeah, okay, cool.
All right, so let's see. I'm working very hard to order these correctly, even though my my formatter will fix that. I don't know why I do that, but I do it anyways.
Fine.
And then this is going to be a pretty big one.
Is build.h included in a lot of places then?
Build.h is a very important file. Oh, and also, I would definitely recommend. There's a podcast called Legacy Code Rocks, which I love. I definitely recommend.
That is an amazing community. They've got a Slack which is really friendly and really supportive, really welcoming.
I've never actually been on the Slack. I just listened to the podcast, but it made a lot of drives between Bellingham and Seattle much easier. For what it's worth for everybody, I went to school in Bellingham, and so I had to drive between Bellingham and Seattle. Bellingham is about an hour and a half north of Seattle. It's kind of right on the Canadian border. And so I made a lot of those drives. Snowy Arrow, I'm using CMake to generate the build, and then it's generating for Ninja. Ninja is the actual build tool itself. I definitely recommend Ninja. It's about, at least in our project, it builds like twice as fast. It's so good. I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, that's just like the default, I believe. Maybe it isn't build up.
I hadn't
Ninja.
noticed that. That's really good.
It might be MS Build. Let's look. No, yeah. It's Ninja. Yeah, Ninja's really good. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's VS Code's integration with CMake. Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, let's generate code for build external. Yeah, VS Code CMake tools are pretty good. Okay, there they are. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't know that.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, no, didn't want that. Come on, there you go. All right. And then in commands.cpp, we add the static const. Let's build. Yeah, thanks, Slurps. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next? It's export.
Oh, only 2 more to go.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vecro. I really appreciate that. All right, export.cpp and export.h.
Helps that you know the file names, which classes are in, which functions are in which file.
Honestly, I'm just, I'm a big fan of, it's a thing called, good package it's called Control P. I think it's built into Visual Studio Code, but it allows you to just kind of search, and like if I look up build extern, then I'll find both build external.h and build external.cpp. It's really nice. Oh. Okay, and then export command. So that goes in export.cpp. Yes, I'm doing a course on LinkedIn Learning today. Or not today, but I'm talking about doing it today. I'm very excited about it. I'm not getting paid for it because I work at Microsoft, but...
So are you going to be teaching on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a course on CMake, because I think that beginner courses on CMake are very much needed.
Wow, exciting.
Yeah. And, you know, if you're doing it correctly, CMake can actually be a fantastic build tool. Yeah. Like, if you look at the VC package CMake, it's really nice. Very easy to read. Oh, export is a keyword. Who would have guessed? Yeah, Slurps doesn't like CMake. But assuming that... Yeah, that's true, Snowy Arrow. I think it's just Stregonel. Like, I'm not a professor. I'm not a doctor. At best, I'm a professor of math, because that's the only actual thing I ever did. Oh. Professor Witch. Which professor? The Witch Professor. I think we're nearly there.
Yay.
Just one more.
At some point, I started having second thoughts about doing it all in one commit, because it's going to be quite a big commit, but let's absolutely stick with it for now.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And then we add the static const. Why did I do that? That was really silly. I literally copied it and then started typing it out. For some reason. Alright, add remaining...
Muscle memory is a hard thing to change.
It's very true. Add remaining star command.
So have we built it all?
I believe we have.
Brilliant.
We have not, apparently. Now we have. There we go.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Okay, so let's review those differences.
Yeah. So,
can we, if we can review them in a diff tool?
Yes. Oh my god, no, the wrong one. Prepare with head. Oh my gosh. No, okay. I feel like I should be better at this. Okay, now we're reviewing them. Here, let's close that out. So in build.h, huh?
Is that saying it's removed a line?
Oh yeah, there we go. I always swap them. Okay, that's
it's
good.
the other way around. Oh yes. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. That makes sense.
And then struct build command. Triplet command.
Can we collapse it down to only show the changed lines? Does it have an option like that? To only show... Doesn't matter if it doesn't.
Doesn't look like it, unfortunately.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay, so
Not a
in
problem.
build external, we added this build external command.
Yeah.
So reasonable depend info command.
Lovely.
Inf command, upgrade command, export command, and we add this command set interface.h. Remove.h, remove command, that all works. Move these two includes because they're not needed. Okay, build command perform an exit. That's the only change. And I'm looking at the right hand side of the screen for what it's worth to see what has been changed. So you'll see that there's this green spot here. That tells me that that's the only thing that's changed because there's no other green or red. Commands.cpp, we added these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What are we missing? Build external. Build external, depend info, env. There we go. We forgot env.
Spot.
Huh?
Good spot.
Yeah. All right. Env goes under build. Okay. Let's build that again. Add that. And then we're going to amend the commits.
That was a really good spot.
Yeah, I try. Cool. So we've already checked all of those. Look at build.cpp. Yep. Command.build external. Yep. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've added 7 commands. That's correct. Perform an exit. 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 Okay, and that should be the only differences.
Brilliant.
All right.
So we're very nearly there with that block.
Yeah.
So do you remember the test that we added when we called find and we called each of them by name?
Yeah. So let's do the test. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Now, let us copy. So we have a list of all of the commands.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you know, can you do a column select?
Yes, I can. And I plan to.
Okay, cool. Okay.
First, let's check the commands list dot size. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And now we're going to record a macro.
I was thinking, so can you make the cursor so that it's at the start of each of the each of the lines and then start typing check, find, whatever?
Yeah. And then let's see if we can do this. I'm not sure if we can do this. Yeah, we can. Okay. Install commands list does not equal null.
Wonderful.
God, I love that.
So for me, learning how to do column select and place multiple cursors in a file is a sort of next level of editing. So a lot of the things that people sometimes do with regular expression, if you know how to column select and edit instead, you don't even need to think about the regular expression syntax and learn
That's so good.
expression.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
So if we have one more for should be null pointer.
Yeah.
Nice use of white space.
And we're looking for May and her beautiful knives. Let's do this. Okay. All right. And let's look at the changes. It should work. Let's build.
Yep. Does it pass?
I don't know yet. I have to build.
This delayed reaction of seeing the screen and hearing your voice but then not seeing the edits till later is quite a strange experience.
Yeah, I need to figure out a better way of doing this.
It's perfectly fine. It's only a few seconds. What's really helped is as you've been doing things, you've been saying out loud what you're doing, and that gives me context. Really good.
So it does pass. It does pass all the tests.
Yep. Number of assertions went up, so that's really good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so that's definitely a committable step.
Okay. And let's rush through this last bit.
Yeah. Because
I need to get off at 11. I need to be on a different meeting at 11.
Sure.
All right. So commands.cpp, and we want to go to commands.h, wherever you are. I don't think that the person who I'm meeting with would appreciate that very much.
Was it A?
Right.
Yeah, it was A.
Yeah. Okay. Then, if we build, we should get a build error. So if we go to get available commands type A, then we do this. I feel like I should just do the... Why did I do that? All right. I could automate this, but it's so easy that I'm just...
Yeah, this is absolutely fine.
Yeah. And then I'm going to rename this. Build external. Export. Depend. Info. All right. Oh, this is going to be...
Oh, yeah.
Let's try and build. I think this red squiggles are from the old build. All right. And then the only thing we have to do is pull perform and exit. Hopefully it works.
Wow, that was awesome. You got through a huge amount in that time.
Yeah, that's incredible. All right. Move over to using start command.
Okay, I look forward to seeing the pull request.
Yeah. So that should come tomorrow, probably. Or today, I guess. Move over to using start const triplet command star for commands. Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to join in on this. It's my first live streaming experience. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. So.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Claire. I am going to get off now. Thank you, everybody in chat. Thank you, everybody who watched the stream. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you all, and bye.
Goodbye, everyone.